Watch the game. Watch the game sports. It's your man L.A. Cheatham. Recapping on week 12.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and comment on the YouTube page. Watch the game sports on YouTube. Thanks for joining us tonight.
What's good people? Benjamin Banneker, you already know Benjamin Banneker. And I'm you know what? I feel okay. I know the last two heartbreakers I was not, but I feel okay today. I feel okay tonight.
And I think I got a problem. I think I'm gonna have a problem with that because you might be one of the people that I'm talking about. They just don't get it. So I'm gonna let you express to me, because I'm pretty sure you about to say exactly what I think you about to say.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm gonna let you spit. I'm gonna let you get it out. Go ahead, Penn.
So we all know our beloved Chicago Bears dropped another heartbreaker on the lakefront yesterday to the Minnesota Vikings in overtime, 30-27. After a valiant, almost comeback effort that was spoiled in the overtime by the defense not doing what they need to do, but that's neither here nor there. The reason that I am not upset this evening is because when the game got to 24-10, I said, you know what? I'm not doing it this week. Woods, come on. We went and we started that nap right then. And I woke up and I saw the coin toss. I said, damn, they came back and it's going into overtime. I did not get sucked into the hype. I turned right back over and went to sleep. So
Okay.
that is exactly why if I didn't see it happen, then it's like, did it really happen? So my heart don't hurt as much.
Yeah, you a little different than most. Most people were happy with the performance of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is developing, as the title, developing under fire. His talent is shining through. That's obvious. But it also is obvious that coaching matters. We figured this out for 2 weeks now. And that's been the biggest difference. But the sad part about it is the defense is banged up and the defense isn't playing well.
Yeah.
That overtime, the defensive scheme that was put out was ridiculous. And for as good as Caleb Williams was in the fourth quarter in overtime, he got back into some bad habits, and just like that, the game was over. And gave Sam Darnold an opportunity to put up 94 yards of passing in that overtime.
Yep.
And like you said, the Vikings go on to win 30-27. Yet the Bears find another way to lose a football game.
It's getting comical at this point.
It is. But many people can see the development of Caleb Williams. And I most definitely see the difference that coaching has made. I want to give a big shout out to offensive coordinator for the past 2 weeks, Thomas Brown. He seemed to unlock some things with Caleb Williams that's been successful. But because keep in mind, he did go up against Brian Flores in that blitz, and they were able to, play well in those situations. Caleb Williams was able to get rid of the ball quick. And I'm starting to look at the game, and I'm starting to believe that Caleb Williams has said in the press conferences, and I'm getting to the point where I can't even stand to watch press conferences, Chicago Bear press conferences anymore because for one, Matt Eberflus.
Yeah, not those.
But I do believe Caleb Williams mentioned that he's simplifying things. So what does that tell me? That tells me that he's turning Caleb into a 1-2 read quarterback. 2 quick reads, get off and get out of there, run. And for the past 2 weeks, Caleb Williams has been more willing to get out and run and has not taken as many sacks as he was previously before Brown took over. But when we speak of the run, the stat line for Caleb Williams is what most people are happy about. The fanboys, the stat boys. So I always told you my number one stat for any quarterback is how many pass attempts. So Caleb Williams, I think he passed the ball 47 times. Impressively, he put up, what was this?
He had
360, 340 yards passing.
340 passing, yep. 32 or 47 for 340 and 2 tubs.
Impressive numbers, but in a shootout situation, just like I said. Not enough of the special sauce. Let's look at the special sauce real quick, which is the running game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to compare it on both sides. So, Caleb Williams, I believe he led the Bears in rushing with 33 yards, 6 attempts. He scrambled for 33 yards.
One of them
the money man.
One was a design run. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I guess it was a read option. The money man, DeAndre Swift, 13 carries for 30 yards.
And it seems like those have kind of been his numbers. He just been popping a big one off, pretty much every game or so.
Since Washington, he's had a couple.
Right.
A couple of big runs that he popped, and they kind of look similar. And I'm trying to get the total of the stat line of total rushing. But I do believe that
I got it for you. You need the total rush stat for the Bears?
Yeah.
They ran for 78 yards. You need the attempts?
I think it was something like 20, 22.
We got Caleb with 6, Swift with 13, 19, 20, 22 times. Yep.
Okay.
DJ had 20. Roshan had 2.
Yeah. But it's just not enough for the special sauce because the special sauce keeps your defense off the field. And we just mentioned how bad the defense is. They're banged up, of course, and they have not really been playing well. But special teams have crept up in this loss too. These last 2 losses, especially with 2 blocked field goals and a muff punt.
Yeah, DeAndre Carter. Somebody gave Velus Jones his jersey. That's what I'm convinced.
Yeah. So, I mean, this game was not on Caleb from a perspective of performance because he did put him in position to win the football game, brought him back to tie. But, the overtime performance wasn't all that great. But, like I said, Caleb is developing under fire. Thomas Brown is the only coach on the Bears coaching staff that seems to be looking good right now. So much to the fact that there's a group of the fans that want to even consider Thomas Brown to be at least the interim head coach, hoping that they will fire Flus. Now,
right.
The question is, now we know that hasn't happened. Me and you both, we don't believe it'll happen. This thing can get totally embarrassing. And it is as embarrassing as it is right now. But there's 6 more games to be played.
And they could lose all 6 and he'll still.
And very much so. They can really lose all 6. That's a big possibility. And, most fans, they're going to look at the evaluation of Caleb Williams. And I even brought up the fact, I'll say, okay, so we're gonna evaluate Caleb Williams, and at the same time, we put him in harm's way.
Right.
Have we seen enough from Caleb Williams to know that if we're not in playoff contention, do we want to continue? Is he the guy? And I don't know if that's question. I don't know if that question's been answered. I mean, he played well the last 2 weeks under Brown, but you're only as good as your last performance. And the reason why I say this is because you can't take anything for granted. Look at CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
It's like was bad bigger than Thriller for Michael Jackson? I don't know.
It wasn't.
But Michael Jackson was always trying to defeat himself whenever he dropped new music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the position that CJ Stroud is in right now. So when I talk about Caleb Williams, you can't waste performances because all of this is going on tape and we're losing. And he's found a way to play well. But who's to say that the adjustments won't happen a lot sooner than later? See, we can't just assume that he's going to play well for the next 6 weeks. And we can't just assume that this is going to be consistent performance throughout his career.
Right.
With the Bears look, it may not be. And I also don't have faith in the organization to bring in the right coach. And then that's only because of my past experiences. Somewhere there's a coach lurking that we have heard nothing about. That the Bears will bring up through the surface and announce him as the head coach. Now they're under a lot of pressure because Ben Johnson is the big name.
Right.
The offensive coordinator in Washington, you were speaking of
Cliff Kingsbury.
Kingsbury, and I think he was probably one of the names for a while. But I think with Jaden Daniels, past 2 performances, it's kind of probably, most people say that midway through the season, most of the league kind of catches up with Kingsbury, and that seems to be for whatever reason. Because remember, Jaden Daniels was battling some rib injuries. We don't know, how that's affecting him up to this point because he only think he really took 1 game off. But it's a situation you can go hot or cold any given week, and that includes Caleb Williams, and it also includes Coach Thomas Brown. And around the league for the next 6 weeks, who will pick up on the tendencies? You got a short week going up against the Detroit Lions on Turkey Day coming up real soon. So there's going to be a short week. And for most football fans, it's going to be a fun week. I think everyone's playing this week. There's no one on a bye. So 3 games on Turkey Day. But for us,
1 on Black Friday.
1 on Black Friday. I'm glad you mentioned that. But I don't have much faith in this organization right now. And I think it's just because what I've seen for so long, and I'm just still in wait and see mode. I do have to admit that Coach Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams are looking good. They're looking good. The offense is looking good, but they're losing for several different reasons. Special teams and bad schematic defense. And I don't know if there's any team on the schedule that I can say that they will beat. To be honest with you.
The last 2 games, the Packers were beatable. The Vikings were beatable. I mean, just look at how the games ended. They was right there at the end, and it just didn't go our way, which it seems like it never does. But yeah, I mean, it's not unconscionable that we can't think that we can say that this team might not win another game for the rest of the season. And at that point, we just said it earlier in the episode. Even if they lose the remaining 6 games, we can't say without a shadow of a doubt, like we would bet our whole entire life savings that the Bears would get rid of flukes, because this is just the
Yeah.
organization that we have grown up and what we know. Like they just never get the right guy. They hang on to things too long. I mean, even just with look what they did with Soldier Field. They redo the field and they build the third smallest stadium in the
Hmm.
league. Now you're trying to
Hmm.
get a new stadium and you're running into all type of problems when you could have just did it 20 years ago. Like this is the
Yeah.
organization that we have grown up and we know. And I heard something interesting the other day. Just like, yeah, Caleb is playing better now. And we got Thomas Brown, and a lot of people want Thomas Brown to get the interim job. Okay. But again, he called a good game for 2 games, but we still ultimately lost. So you're
Yeah.
still 0 and 2.
Yeah. With him as the offensive coordinator. Yep.
You're still 0 and 2. So I mean,
On
and
a 5-game losing streak.
5 game losing streak.
Yeah.
And you don't want to set this thing up where Thomas Brown performs so well that the next coach comes in and well, you can be the coach, but this is our OC. You don't want to put that out there. So it's like a no-win situation all the way around. And are they going to get it right this time? If they were serious about getting it right, and I heard this on somewhere the other day, what about trying to trade for an established coach? Picks.
Mm. I don't know if there's the only coach I think that's worth that is Shanahan.
That Shanahan came up in this conversation. Sean McVay came up in this situation.
Okay.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
the Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski came up in this conversation. And when
Mm-hmm.
you stop and think about it, yeah, why not? Because it looks like the pieces are in place offensively. Why
Yeah,
risk
but
going to
yeah.
get? We know we kind of feel like they're gonna do, like you said, somebody we never heard of before, and they're gonna elevate him, and it's gonna be his first head coaching job. Why
I
not
mean,
just
that's
go get?
just a possibility that normally that's what the Bears would do. But I do think they're under a lot of pressure for several different reasons to make some type of splash for two different reasons. For one, you got the talent, and two, you still trying to impress upon the fan base in the city that you want to build this new stadium. So I don't really think they could do what they've done in the past. I think if they go out and go get a new coach, they got to make somewhat of a splash. I just I just think they missed out on two good ones. And Sean Payton
Harbaugh.
was one. When
Okay.
Sean Payton was out there for so long as a doing television work, I just felt like, when you talk about a coach that was worth trading for, I thought at that time he would have been the guy.
Yeah.
I would not have minded to see Sean Payton in Chicago, and then Harbaugh, of course. But that was 2 years ago. Harbaugh had his own battles. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to win a national championship, and so it was always a fantasy, But the the reality is they had an opportunity to make it real, and they didn't make an attempt to do so. So, far as I'm concerned, they can do better. Obviously, they can do better at the coaching position, at the head coaching position. But I just think anything past Jim Harbaugh is just a consolation prize for me because that's who I wanted. And right now, as we speak, we're watching the Harbaugh Bowl on Monday Night Football. Uh, and he's got that franchise, the Chargers turned around. They're looking good. And right now he's losing to Big Bro. But I just don't have any faith in what they're gonna do at the position and what they're gonna do further down the road. And that includes putting Caleb Williams in the best position. I mean, I'm not the type of fan that gets so hell bent on the quarterback because I always look back on Matthew Stafford's career in Detroit. So when you pounding the table for the stats and the big time franchise quarterback, you need to think about that. It's always about the team. And the simple fact that this team is not physical enough and don't have the identity and don't run the football well enough is the reason why they're losing. We could talk about the defense. We can even talk about special teams the last 2 weeks. But the one thing this team has not done consistently this season was establish a physical identity. They've been really finesse, and they put Caleb Williams in a position to try and make him win games. And in the process, they have lost games. They have not gotten to the fundamental foundations of the game, and I don't know if most fans understand or even appreciate how big that is.
You know, hindsight is 2020, but I think with Thomas Brown coming in, like you said earlier, he's kind of simplifying things for Caleb. I think the Bears thought they was the smartest guys in the room coming up to the draft, giving Caleb the playbook as early as they did. Because we've been hearing stories about he got the playbook in like February. When they was at the combine, they was working on installation of the offense. So when he came into training camp, he wasn't treated like a rookie. He was treated like, almost a vet. He had all the checks, all audible out of anything, all autonomy. So just that mishandling of it led to what we saw, except for the 3-game winning streak.
Yeah,
After they had the meeting with Shane Waldron
against teams they were more talented in, obviously more talented in,
and the defense was still playing.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like that was so long ago now.
It's been within the last month, literally.
Yeah. Matter of fact, the Bears haven't won a game since they touch since they got back on American soil. You can say that, right?
And that's a fact.
The trip to London, the bye week, and haven't won a game since. So they're drawing this thing out with Matt Eberflus. I think he looks defeated, and whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And it's just it's really sad. You know what I mean? And I really can't stand to talk about Matt Eberflus much. I mean, the bright spot is Caleb Williams' performance and Thomas Brown being able to get the best out of Caleb Williams. But I mean, for 6 weeks, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. If they continue to lose, the Bears may be forced to do something they've never done before, and that's the big question for the Bears, because playoffs are probably way out of contention right now.
Depends on how they lose.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but this the thing. There's some that say that the team's still playing hard for Coach Eberflus. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. Like you said, how they lose.
Mm-hmm.
If they lose competitively, unfortunately, I still think he'll get fired. But unfortunately, if they lose competitively in every game for the next 6 weeks, there's a slight chance you may get Eberflus back. But I think even Matt Eberflus, he might be a little defeated. And he might be, in my opinion, he may even be like, you know what? My family, myself, we don't deserve this. Because they're killing him in the national media. They're killing him in the local media. And at some point in time, how much more can a man take?
And
I mean, look at his overall record.
It's 14-31, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah. And they say he hasn't won a road game on Sunday.
It has not. That's
they play football on Sunday.
That's when they play.
And so,
but
it's just sad, man.
That's that though. Like, I mean, we know we can always make the numbers say what narrative, but like you said, they play on Sundays, but the actual totality of it, he has won a road game. It just wasn't on Sunday. So if you want to put that Sunday thing on it, you know what I'm saying? If it don't count, then don't put it on Amazon Prime on Thursday night if it don't count. So that's what it's kind of skewed. but I get it.
Yeah, you're right. But
Yeah.
see, that's the torture that people just digging stuff up.
Yeah.
On Monday mornings, I don't know if you're familiar, but on Monday mornings on ESPN 1000 in Chicago radio,
Cap and hoodie.
he does an interview with Cap and Hoodie,
Yeah.
and I enjoy their morning football, their morning show, sports talk radio. But if you watch them on the YouTube channel, you could look at them and look at, as they're doing these interviews, they're challenging Matt Eberflus
Oh yeah.
and they be really sarcastic with him.
Yeah.
And my thing is that it's kind of disrespectful because we are fans. But me and you, Cap and Hoodie, they cannot do Matt Eberflus's job. As bad as it may look, as smart as we think we are, we can't do it either. So when I watch them do that, he's being disrespected, and what they're doing is they're putting him in a position to go viral. And who benefits from that? They do.
Yeah, the show does.
So it's like, it's sad, bro. I gave up on Matt Eberflus's press conferences a long time ago.
The Chase Claypool.
No, it wasn't Chase. It's like when he does a press conference after the game, it's just a dud press conference.
He never wins the press conference though.
It's just dud. I mean, I don't even stick around long enough to see if he's winning or losing a press conference. He's just uninteresting. And my thing is, at some point, the players may feel this way as well, but who knows? But I'm just saying, it's getting embarrassing. And when I seen that on ESPN 1000, I say, man, they just torturing this dude now. They looking for YouTube shorts in these conversations.
Yeah,
they're looking for the same thing me and you looking for.
and
They're looking to go viral on this dude, and he might be bound by contract, but he's being embarrassed.
Yeah, he is, because ESPN 1000 has a partnership with the Chicago Bears. You know, they bought the rights because it used to be on, was it 780, right? The game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So ESPN 1000 bought the rights to broadcast the Chicago Bears. Part of that came with, you know, the coach got to do a show with one of our shows and whatnot. So, and what you say about going viral. Remember when his cell phone wasn't working? Because I consume it on YouTube.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Cap didn't waste no time. It said your cell service is as bad as the offense right now. He knew what he knew what he was doing. He was trying to make his platform, his sound bite go.
Yeah.
And
Cap is trying to get with Cowherd one day. He's trying to get that Cowherd money. I know what he's doing. He's trying to get that Stephen A money. I know what he's doing. But they're doing it at Matt Eberflus's expense now. And that's sad.
On the flip side, though, like you said, it is like you can see what they're doing to him, and it's disrespectful. But on the flip side, that is why these coaches get paid as much.
You're right.
Because it's not just coaching football. You got to win the PR, and you got to be able to, you know, communicate with the local radio station and keep the fan base energetic about the product. So it's a lot to it. It's not fair, but you signed up for it when you signed the contract to be the head coach of the Chicago Bears, a charter NFL franchise.
Exactly. And did you know, I found this out a few weeks ago, that at one point in time, very early in the history of the NFL, the Green Bay Packers were in danger of shutting down the football team. Guess who loaned them the money to save the franchise?
I have not heard this story. Was it us? Was it the Chicago
George Halas.
Wow.
Papa Bear himself because he knew that the league needed the Green Bay Packers to have a league. But he was the one that went out and helped them save their franchise. So that's crazy as it sounds.
And
It
now they
was
own
business.
yeah.
Yeah. So, and like you said, and now they own us. You know what I'm saying? So it's interesting how things happen. And then look at how the organization is run in Green Bay. There's not, there's
Oh,
no
it's not,
owner. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. But like I said, it's a tough situation, sad situation for Matt Eberflus, and we have to sit here for the next 6 weeks and maybe watch it play out even more. But before we wrap up tonight, uh, I watched the Philadelphia Eagles play against the Los Angeles Rams, and Saquon. Remember, I told you a couple weeks ago, Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. I know we got the quarterbacks. If we had to pick a quarterback to be MVP, you can look at Josh Allen, and you might even look at Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? But Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is relevant because Emmitt Smith is the all-time leading rusher
right.
in NFL history. He passed up Walter Payton II, I believe.
That's right.
Barry Sanders walked away from the game before he passed up Walter. So he left a lot on the bone. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Derrick Henry is ranked number 24 in all-time rushing in the league's history.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only active player in that top 25.
Mm-hmm.
That goes to show you how they've shifted the game to this passing league and they marketing the quarterback. But Saquon Barkley is doing something now that isn't supposed to be done in this time. The man had 250, 255 yards rushing. I think he had another 47 yards receiving. And right now, he's close to 1,400 yards rushing on
Mm-hmm.
the season. So Derrick Henry's number 24 on the all-time list. He's the only active player on that list. What Saquon Barkley's doing right now isn't supposed to be happening. It's not even marketable. But what he's doing is every time he touched that rock this season, he's always been special. But this season in particular, he's doing something special almost every week. And this is why I believe he should be, barring injury, and he continues to perform. He ain't got to put up 255. But if he just continues to perform and this team continue to win, he's the MVP of the league. Reason why is because we'll see another great quarterback performance because the league is built for that to happen. But we probably won't see a performance from a running back like this again for years. Much like when you look at Tyreek Hill's performance last season.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Tyreek Hill was hit by some injuries and hit by some personal issues, which allow him maybe to be knocked out of consideration for MVP. But I'm wishing Saquon Barkley health and continue to play well because I would like to see people watch the damn game and see what's happening here because Saquon Barkley isn't supposed to be doing this and it's special.
Here's the thing with Saquon. I think he probably got to be the leader in the clubhouse for MVP, because I know when we brought this topic up a few weeks ago, it's probably Derrick Henry. We both picked Derrick Henry to be MVP at that point. But the reason why Saquon, I think you didn't say it, this Saquon can get this MVP is because of name recognition. Saquon Barkley's name, people know that name. They know he's a star in the league.
Yeah.
And the way he runs, it's exciting. It's part Barry Sanders. It's part flat. It's got
it's got the special sauce from a lot of different performers. A little bit of Walter, a little bit of Barry, a little bit of Emmett when you talk about hitting that hole. I mean, it's got a little bit of twist of everything. And it's special.
And the moves he's pulling off, we saw he jumped over the dude backwards, hurt the guy backwards. Like, that's nothing that's never been done in NFL history.
Yeah.
So, but when you look at Derrick Henry, even though he's a name, I can't say Derrick Henry's name rings true like Saquon Barkley's name. Just to the
not right now. But I brought up Derrick Henry for the simple reason he's number 24, the only active player on that list. All-time leading rushers. So what he's done up to this point and what he continues to do to this day isn't supposed to be done. He's not supposed to even play this long.
And that's part of that's the phasing out of the position or devaluing of the position by the running.
Yeah, I would say devalue because they're sharing reps now. There's no more bell cow backs.
Because the run game is still prevalent. Because we've been saying the best thing for a quarterback is a strong running game. Everybody knows that. There seems to be common knowledge. But Derrick Henry, the longevity and how he's been able to do it has been phenomenal. Like we probably won't see another Derrick Henry again, because I think this is like 8th or 9th year and he's still running well. But the reason I feel like we were saying Derrick Henry should have been MVP when we said that, but it was still some doubt in that. We wasn't certain about it because it's an element to Derrick Henry that's not. He's just bigger than everybody else. He's just running over. It's not exciting like Saquon is. It don't sell tickets.
I got you. It's winning football games, but the Ravens have lost some big games starting with the season opener, so it's not as entertaining, like you said, for several different reasons. But what Saquon is doing is, like I say, I can't say it enough. It's special, and I don't know if we'll see it again. You can't even bank on it that he'll do this next year. So give him his flowers now, because we probably won't see it again. And I'm just saying he has to finish out the season strong and healthy, and I'm hoping he'll be blessed to be able to do that, because I just want to see that the people passing out these awards will be put in a position to watch games, watch the damn game. We know the quarterbacks. We know who they are. But there's 10 other guys on the offense. And then there's 11 other guys on the defensive end. Watch the damn game and appreciate the position for what it's worth. No matter what position it is, watch the game. I know it may be a little complicated and it's not as marketable for the fanboys, and it might not be the big thing going down in Vegas, but it is to be appreciated. So just give me Saquon. I just hope he continues to, because he's going to have to keep this up to get serious consideration for MVP.
Well, I think I think he's probably the leader right now, because there's no.
Yeah, but they got to win and they got to go deep in the playoffs.
But the award is for the regular season, so they say they're not supposed to take in the postseason into account in the award.
Yeah, I don't really totally believe that, but I know what they say.
Other than Josh Allen, like I'm just scanning the league. I can't think of a quarterback that's even on the level to even be. You said Lamar, but Lamar didn't.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying.
Right.
They said it tonight before the game was being played in Los Angeles. So if they're saying it, it must be relevant. But what I'm saying is Saquon. Saquon Barkley.
You got to give it to the Eagles. Won 7 straight. I believe they are 8-2 right now. When you compare that to the Ravens, I think the Ravens lost 3 games, maybe even 4. And Josh Allen is 8-2 as well. But I think the league would kind of just look at it again. Saquon, name, marketability, the stuff he was doing. If he just an average game, 100 yards and a touchdown every game. Just that's his average on the way out. I think the league would give it to him, thinking, well, Josh Allen gonna be Josh Allen. Josh Allen can do this again next year. Again, we don't know if Saquon will be this healthy again, or if he might lose a step. We just don't know. Injuries take a toll, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think you get my point. I'm about ready. Maybe we can wrap up soon because I got to be getting out of here. But one last stat I'm gonna give you about this special sauce from this Bears game that I didn't bring up. Now we talked about the Bears having 78 yards rushing combined.
Yeah.
So special sauce. Minnesota. Aaron Jones, 22 carries for 106 yards and a touchdown.
Himself.
By himself.
And a fumble.
Special. Yes, exactly. Because they probably should have had at least 3 more points or even 7.
Right.
Because they fumbled that ball at the goal line.
Right.
With the special sauce. But the Bears came out and made a play on defense. But the special sauce cannot be ignored. And Saquon Barkley is the most special of all the sauces out. Honey mustard, barbecue, whatever it is you got, give me a dash or give me a taste of that Saquon Barkley sauce. And I'm going to dip my chicken nugget in that. That's the special sauce for the night. Saquon Barkley up to this point is my MVP. And I think that's it. You getting ready for the big game on Saturday? We getting ready for Turkey Day. Week 13 is loading. Bears, Lions, early Turkey Day. I'm prepared to laugh because they're not gonna spoil my Thanksgiving.
Listen,
thanks for watching the game.
Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share with fellow Bears friends, somebody that watches the game like we do. Please like, share, and comment and subscribe. We are trying to grow this thing. We got some things that we are working on that we want to bring to you, but we cannot do it without you. So please like, comment, and subscribe so we can build up this community. Benjamin Banneker, that's L.A. Cheatham. We out.
TJ.